history, innovation, and perfection. In this universe, a brand emerges that not only manufactures watches, but creates living works of art, pieces that challenge the very notion of time and leave an indelible mark on those who wear them. This is the story of Blancpain, the oldest watchmaking manufacturer in the world, where tradition and avant-garde meet in an eternal cycle of elegance and mastery. Prepare to discover how this Swiss brand has transformed the art of watchmaking into a legend, a perfect compass that resonates from 1735 to the present day. The story of Blancpain begins in 1735 when Jean-Jacques Blancpain, a visionary of his time, officially registered his name as a watchmaker in the small village of Villeret, located in the heart of the Bernese Jura, Switzerland. By creating his first workshop on the upper floor of his house, Jean-Jacques Blancpain launched the oldest watch brand in the world that is still in operation today. He recognized early on the potential of a new economic activity, watchmaking. The 18th century was a period of mechanical innovation, and Blancpain's talent helped solidify the watchmaking tradition in the region, which would become world famous. In the following years, Jean-Jacques' watchmaking skills and knowledge were passed down from generation to generation, perpetuating a family lineage that kept alive the tradition of creating pieces of unparalleled precision and elegance. The success of Blancpain's early watches was remarkable, and the family continued to expand the business over the centuries. Each generation added something new to the company, while maintaining a firm commitment to artisanal quality. In 1815, Frédéric Louis Blancpain, Jean-Jacques' great-grandson, took over the company and ushered in a new era of innovation. He modernized production methods, transforming the small workshop into an industrial company capable of serial production, a remarkable feat for the time. His most significant contribution was the replacement of the traditional crown wheel mechanism, introducing a more efficient and precise system. This innovation placed Blancpain at the forefront of watchmaking and marked the beginning of a new phase of growth. However, the world was rapidly changing, and the growing industrialization of the 19th century brought challenges that many watchmakers could not overcome. Competition from the United States, with its automated factories and reduced prices, threatened European workshops that still relied on manual processes. But Blancpain, instead of succumbing to the pressure, faced the situation strategically. In 1865, the company built a new two-story factory on the banks of the Suze River, harnessing the water's power to generate electricity and improve the efficiency of its production processes. This modernization, along with the continued emphasis on quality, ensured Blancpain's survival during a period when many other watchmakers could not adapt to the new economic realities. The company not only survived but thrived, establishing itself as one of the leading brands in Villeret and expanding its presence in the global watch market. The tradition of excellence established by Jean-Jacques Blancpain and refined by his descendants for nearly 2 centuries, continued to shape the company's destiny. This combination of innovation and preservation of artisanal roots would be one of the fundamental pillars supporting Blancpain's growth in the decades to come. At the beginning of the 20th century, Blancpain continued to be one of the most respected brands in the world of watchmaking. But the global economic landscape and technological changes would bring new challenges. The death of Frédéric-Émile Blancpain, the 7th generation of the family to lead the business, marked a turning point in 1932. With Frédéric-Émile's only daughter, Bertinelli, opting not to follow in her father's footsteps in watchmaking. For the first time in nearly 2 centuries, the company would no longer be directly controlled by the Blancpain family. It was then that Betty Fichter, a trusted employee and longtime collaborator of Frédéric-Émile, took over the leadership of the company. In partnership with André Léal, they purchased Blancpain and, due to legal reasons, were forced to change the company's name to Réville S.A. Successeur de Blancpain, while maintaining the legacy and identity of the brand. Betty Fichter would become the first woman to lead a major watchmaking manufacturer, an extraordinary achievement for the time. Despite the name change, the dedication to tradition and innovation, which had been the company's pillars, remained intact under the new leadership. During the 1930s and 1940s, Blancpain continued to expand its capabilities, pioneering new technologies and creating innovative watches that upheld its reputation for impeccable quality. In the 1950s, the company achieved one of its greatest milestones with the launch of the 50 Fathoms, a diving watch developed at the request of the French Navy. Jean-Jacques Fichter, Betty's nephew and co-director of the company, led the project that resulted in one of the most iconic watches in the history of watchmaking. The 50 fathoms became the reference standard for diving watches and was widely used by professional divers, including the renowned explorer Jacques-Yves Cousteau. Its success solidified Blancpain as a brand synonymous with durability and precision in extreme conditions. Another important milestone was the launch of the Ladybird in 1956, one of the first automatic watches designed specifically for women, which featured the smallest round automatic movement of its time. This model represented a perfect combination of technical innovation and refined aesthetics, attracting a female audience seeking the same mechanical quality offered in men's models. With growing demand and expanding operations, Blancpain joined the Société Suisse pour l'Industrie Horlogère (SSIH) in 1961, which included other renowned brands like Omega and Tissot. However, in the 1970s, the Swiss watch industry faced one of its greatest challenges with the rise of quartz watches, which were cheaper, more accurate, and easier to mass-produce. Traditional brands, including Blancpain, suffered from a drastic drop in sales, and the SSIH, of which Blancpain was part, faced financial difficulties. The production of luxury watches was severely reduced, and many Swiss brands struggled to survive against the competition from quartz watches produced in Japan and the United States. Blancpain, despite facing this turbulence, maintained its commitment to the tradition of mechanical watchmaking. In 1983, Blancpain underwent a decisive turnaround when Jacques Piguet, son of Frédéric Piguet, a renowned Swiss movement manufacturer, and Jean-Claude Biver, a visionary in watchmaking, purchased the Blancpain name from SSIH. This transaction marked the beginning of a new era for the brand. The company was re-established in Le Brassus, in the Vallée du Joux, a region famous for excellence in mechanical watchmaking, and resumed operations under the name Blancpain SA. From this point on, Blancpain adopted a bold philosophy that would become the pillar of its revival. Since 1735, there has never been a quartz Blancpain watch, and there never will be. This daring vision, defying market trends, positioned the brand as a defender of traditional mechanical watchmaking at a time when many experts predicted the end of mechanical watches. Jean-Claude Biver and Jacques Piguet decided to focus on creating complex and exquisite mechanical watches that reflected the craftsmanship spirit that had defined the brand since its founding in 1735. They understood that instead of competing with quartz watches on price or convenience, Blancpain's path was to differentiate itself through exclusivity, technical excellence, and a return to the roots of Swiss haute horlogerie. One of the greatest milestones of this new era was the development of the Blancpain 1735, one of the most complicated watches ever made. This model included some of the most challenging complications to craft in a mechanical watch, such as a minute repeater, tourbillon, flyback chronograph, perpetual calendar, and moon phases. Assembling this extraordinary timepiece required the meticulous work of a master watchmaker for an entire year. The Blancpain 1735 not only celebrated the brand's heritage of over 200 years, but also reaffirmed its commitment to innovation within the bounds of traditional watchmaking. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Blancpain continued to assert its position as a leader in producing grand complications, reinforcing its role as a symbol of prestige and exclusivity in the world of watchmaking. With a limited number of watches produced each year, each one handmade, the brand became a testament to Swiss dedication to the art of watchmaking. In addition to focusing on complications, Blancpain also invested in the aesthetic refinement of its watches, seeking the perfect balance between functionality and design. The classic lines of the Villeret collection, named after the brand's hometown, reflected this philosophy. The collection became a reference in luxury watchmaking, combining tradition, elegance, and technical innovation. During this period, Blancpain became an example of how a historical brand could not only survive the quartz crisis, but thrive by positioning itself as a guardian of traditional watchmaking. Under the leadership of Jean-Claude Biver and Jacques Piguet, the brand revitalized mechanical watchmaking and demonstrated that there was a market willing to pay for quality, exclusivity, and refined craftsmanship, even in an increasingly digital world. By the late 90s and early 2000s, Blancpain had already solidified its reputation as one of the leading haute horlogerie brands. Its watches continued to be a symbol of exclusivity, craftsmanship, and technical innovation, a legacy that attracted collectors and enthusiasts worldwide. The leadership of Jean-Claude Biver and Jacques Piguet was instrumental in reviving the brand after the quartz crisis, and the arrival of Mark A. Hayek as CEO in 2002 brought renewed vigor to the watchmaking house. Mark A. Hayek, grandson of Nicholas Hayek, the founder of the Swatch Group, led the brand with a fresh vision, focusing on both preserving traditions and expanding Blancpain into new markets. Under his direction, Blancpain invested heavily in research and development, introducing a new series of movements and complications that reaffirmed its role as an innovator in mechanical watchmaking. One of the greatest examples of this innovation was the reintroduction, in 2008, of the carousel, a complex complication that had been forgotten for over a century. The carousel, similar to the tourbillon, was originally invented to improve the accuracy of pocket watches, and its incorporation into a wristwatch for the first time showcased Blancpain's ability to look to the past and turn it into modern innovations. This movement demonstrated the brand's commitment not only to preserving tradition, but also to reinventing it. In addition to mechanical innovations, Blancpain continued to expand its collections. The 50 Fathoms, for example, was relaunched and updated to meet the needs of contemporary divers and collectors. This model, originally launched in 1953, was one of the first modern dive watches and became the benchmark for underwater watchmaking. Under Mark Hayek's leadership, the 50 Fathoms was solidified as an icon, remaining true to its origins while incorporating new water resistance and durability technologies. At the same time, Blancpain paid special attention to the Villeret collection, which reflected the brand's classic soul. With its elegant and refined lines, the Villeret watches evoked the sophisticated simplicity of traditional Swiss watchmaking. This collection, with complications ranging from perpetual calendars to moon phases, remained one of the brand's pillars, reaffirming Blancpain's technical mastery in the field of horological complications. Blancpain's expansion was also marked by a significant increase in its global presence. With the opening of boutiques in strategic locations such as the most prestigious streets of major cosmopolitan capitals, Paris, New York, Tokyo, Hong Kong, the brand reached an increasingly broad international clientele. Blancpain boutiques became exclusive destinations for collectors and enthusiasts seeking unique and personalized timepieces. Another important aspect of Blancpain's expansion strategy was its active participation in prestigious partnerships and sponsorships. The brand stood out in areas such as motorsports, with its involvement in the Blancpain GT series, one of the most recognized motorsport competitions in the world. This initiative not only brought visibility to the brand, but also reinforced its association with precision, speed, and innovation, values shared by both the sport and watchmaking. Diving, another historical passion of the brand, also remained an important focus for Blancpain. With the 50 Fathoms as its signature watch, Blancpain established partnerships with explorers and ocean conservation organizations, reinforcing its commitment to marine preservation. The Blancpain Ocean Commitment Project became a prominent initiative, funding scientific expeditions and documentaries that explore and protect the world's oceans. This connection to diving and the underwater world directly resonated with the 50 Fathoms heritage, uniting cutting-edge technology and environmental consciousness. In the realm of gastronomy and lifestyle, Blancpain found an affinity with the art of culinary excellence. Just as in haute horlogerie, elite gastronomy involves precision, creativity, and dedication to details. The brand established partnerships with renowned chefs, creating exclusive events and experiences that linked the philosophy of watchmaking with the refinement of haute cuisine. Through these initiatives and partnerships, Blancpain reinforced its core values of tradition, innovation, and excellence, while expanding its influence to new audiences and markets. For those interested in acquiring a Blancpain watch, it is important to know that the brand currently offers 5 different collections: 50 Fathoms, Air Command, Villeret, Ladybird, and Métier d'Art. 50 Fathoms, the icon of diving watches. Launched in 1953 and continuously updated, the 50 Fathoms is one of the most respected diving watches in the world. It was designed at the request of the French Navy, which sought a reliable watch for underwater operations. Its water resistance and durability made it one of the first watches to define modern diving watch standards. Today, the 50 Fathoms line includes various models, such as the 50 Fathoms Automatique, the 50 Fathoms Bathyscaphe, and limited special editions. Depending on the features and materials used, prices for this collection vary. A classic 50 Fathoms Automatique model may cost around $15,000 to $20,000, while limited editions and those with more advanced complications can exceed $50,000. Villeret, elegance and tradition. The Villeret collection, named after the village where Blancpain was founded, represents the quintessence of classic watchmaking. These watches are known for their refined lines, elegant design, and complications that reflect Blancpain's mastery in keeping tradition alive. One of the most notable models in the collection is the Villeret Quantième Complet, which features a complete calendar with moon phases. Watches from the Villeret collection start at around $10,000, with simpler models in stainless steel. However, watches with advanced complications, such as perpetual calendars or tourbillons, can easily exceed $50,000, especially if made from precious materials like gold or platinum. Métier d'art, the art of watchmaking. Blancpain is equally celebrated for its dedication to craftsmanship, expressed through the Métier d'art collection, which features watches with artistically handcrafted dials. These models are often adorned with engravings, hand-painted enamel, and precious stone inlays, making each watch a unique work of art. Due to the extraordinary level of detail and rarity of these pieces, prices vary widely, but typically start around $30,000 and can exceed $100,000 for more elaborate and exclusive editions. Blancpain women, haute horlogerie for women. From 1930 onwards, Blancpain played a pioneering role in the history of feminine watches by presenting the first self-winding wristwatch for women, the Rolls. In 1956, the brand unveiled the Ladybird model, which was equipped with the smallest round movement of the time. The current Ladybird collection features watches with complications, such as moon phases and chronographs, adapted to delicate and refined designs for women. Prices for women's models range from $8,000 for entry-level watches to over $40,000, depending on materials and complications included. Air Command, elegance and adventure in the skies. The Air Command collection is a modern reinterpretation of a legendary military chronograph from the 1950s, originally created for U.S. Air Force pilots. The watches in this line are inspired by the original model, which was highly valued for its precision and durability, but was never widely commercialized, making it a rare and coveted piece among collectors. The new Air Command models offer two separate timekeeping features, a flyback chronograph function and a countdown bezel. These watches typically range from $18,000 to $35,000, depending on the case material, steel or titanium, movement complications, and limited editions. To acquire a Blancpain watch, you can visit one of the brand's exclusive boutiques, purchase from authorized dealers, or through specialized luxury watch resellers, both physical and online. However, for collectors seeking rare or limited edition pieces, auctions may be the best option. Major auction houses, such as Christie's and Sotheby's, often feature Blancpain watches as part of their specialized sales. On these occasions, prices can rise exponentially, especially for vintage models or pieces with historical significance. And so we come to the end of this fascinating journey through the history of Blancpain. If you enjoyed learning about this heritage of nearly 290 years of Swiss haute horology, share with us. Which Blancpain collection sparked your interest the most? Now, check out this other video on the channel, recommended on the screen. Just click and watch. Thank you. See you soon.